9:34 on this show, we've done segments with people who think they've gone back in time. Under hypnosis, they claim to see themselves on the operating table or back in time to visit their past life as an Egyptian prince. But this therapy is controversial, so I thought we'd take a look at what's going on here. To do that, we have to separate the good evidence from the bad. You wouldn't expect Nathan Callahan to believe in past lives. He's a judge, and he would drive all the way from Iowa in hopes of traveling back in time. Susan Weishart is his therapist in Mundelein, and she would use hypnotherapy to engage what's called past life regression. He says he went back to World War II. He was on a ship called the USS Chester.
I remembered being an aircraft gunner on that ship and being killed by a Japanese plane that slammed into it.
Weishart says the dramatic journey is therapeutic.
Each lifetime gives us more experience, and there are lessons that are being learned, but sometimes those things are unresolved and still impact us in our current incarnation.
Callahan says he didn't come for therapy. He was just interested in reincarnation. But he admits it all makes sense now. You see, Callahan avoided combat in Vietnam and joined the Coast Guard.
I was adamantly opposed to that war. I felt like I needed to stand up and make a statement about it, so I resisted. And I was from a small town in Iowa, and that didn't go for very well. I was, portrayed as being an unpatriotic coward, and that irked me. I became very cynical, and I left all of that, drank heavily, became an unlikable person, quite frankly, lost a lot of friends. This session, it helped me therapeutically in terms of looking at the people who I resented and got angry at. And it gave me a context as to why I was so adamantly opposed to being involved in that war.
We showed our interview to Dr. Betty Bottoms, professor of psychology at the University of Illinois at Chicago.
When people remember things, often we are recalling memories in ways that make us look better, make us at the center of events, or somehow relieve guilt.
Dr. Bottoms does research on repressed memories and techniques like hypnotherapy.
It is extremely controversial when it is used to bring back memories in particular. And the reason is, once we are hypnotized and we're in that highly suggestive state, someone may suggest to you something that might have happened, and you might fantasize about what happened.
Faulty human memories have led to hundreds of wrongful convictions in the last few decades. In 1986, Dr. Bennett Braun of Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's Medical Center put Pat Burgess under hypnosis. She said she believed she had 300 personalities, was part of a satanic cult, and abused her children. She said Braun manufactured those memories, and she sued, accepting $10 million in a settlement.
And you have a recipe for disaster, so to speak. Therapy is a very powerful social, psychological setting where you can create memories that aren't true, and that can lead to a lot of harm in people's lives.
A very small percentage of licensed psychologists do these kinds of therapies, but we found many unlicensed people advertising it. Experts say it's very difficult to police. Some psychologists, like Dr. Brian Weiss, offer 5-day workshops where you can gain a certification in past life regression. Proponents point to his book, Many Lives, Many Masters, as a catalog of evidence, stories of people who went back in time and could talk about things they couldn't possibly have known. But experts say those stories aren't worth much.
Anecdotes aren't evidence. Techniques such as past life regression with hypnotherapy, there haven't been clinical trials that were scientific.
Still, Nathan Callahan says he's happy.
Everybody in this room is going to die. I'll guarantee you that. That much I know scientifically. What happens to you afterwards is still kind of a mystery.
Well, believers have said on this show, your brain is like a video recorder, but science says quite the opposite. The American Psychological Association says it has no position on this type of therapy because it does not recognize it as a valid therapy. And we have a statement from Representative Michael Zalewski, chairperson of the Healthcare Licenses Committee. He says we are relying on something that is not proven or authorized in the statute. So I have strong reservations about allowing licensed psychologists to practice this. We should encourage the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation to investigate the use of this therapy. Let's head